Hi everyone, you're back with the Lone Wolf once again. Welcome to the show. I can honestly state that if I wasn't a bachelor following a lone wolf lifestyle, either accidentally or by design, my life would probably be very different. If I'd entered into a relationship with a woman, or worse yet, fathered a child in my late teens or early 20s, my time would not truly be my own. Time is our most valuable commodity, far more important than money, and closely followed by freedom. As I sit here talking to you, my to-do list is staring at me from my laptop, and I really don't know where to begin. I have so many ideas and aspirations that it's difficult to decide which to do first. I think I'll take a systematic approach. I do have tunnel vision at times and do like to check my tasks off as I work through them. But some of these jobs relate to work, others to hobbies, passions, and future career opportunities, business ideas, and the like. Household chores and other tasks are not even included on this list. Now, bear in mind that I am a single man in my early 30s, with no baggage, thankfully, and no serious commitments other than paying the rent and the bills. My time for now and hopefully the rest of my life is truly my own, to get on with these goals, and better yet, if I don't feel like working on any of them tonight, I'm free to power up the Xbox for a few hours, stick on a film of my choosing, watch Netflix, YouTube, play guitar for a while, or simply read and educate myself on the many topics that I'm interested in. Flipping the scenario on its head, let's say I have a girlfriend or, for example, wife and kids. From the moment I get through the door after work, the kids would need seeing to, feeding, putting to bed, and whatever else. Never mind that I've had a long, hard day of work, a lengthy commute, and now have numerous work-related tasks to do at home. I have to do everything else expected of the modern husband. The choice of what I get to do diminishes because I share the house, the TV, all the possessions, everything, with a wife or a girlfriend and family. And once the kids are put to bed and dinner is done, you are physically and mentally destroyed. I've seen this in close friends who have children with fathers. They are exhausted by 9 o'clock at night and fall asleep in front of the TV. I tell you now, there is nothing more annoying when trying to watch an engaging Netflix documentary or a movie than passing out from just sheer fatigue. My point here is that time is never truly yours again, not for at least 15 to 20 years, and quite often longer. In my earlier video, A Lone Wolf by Default, I mentioned about a former best friend that is now married and has 4 children, at least as far as I'm aware. We haven't spoken for a decade. From the second his first child was born, or rather the second she got pregnant after 6 weeks of the relationship, his life was no longer his. Real talk. She was always going to have the kid, due to being quote-unquote religious. This is amusing because she wasn't religious when she was having bedroom relations on the first date, outside of wedlock. So they had the whole marriage thing, and he actually converted to her faith, Protestantism. Now, I don't see him anymore, and he has been completely isolated from friends and family, to my knowledge, even his twin brother. But from the point of conception onwards, his time, money, and resources were and are no longer his. He is, for the next 18 years at least, responsible for not one but 4 other human beings. Whether through his own choice or not, his hopes, dreams, and ambitions are in flames. If he ever wanted to change his career completely as I did, a topic for another video, how would he do this? He has obligations now, bills to pay, a mortgage no less, and responsibilities to provide for everyone. If he wanted to move abroad, spur of the moment, let's say, and work in America or Australia or wherever, and his wife didn't want to go, or his kids didn't want to go, he would have to stay wherever he is now, because he's trapped. His wife didn't take his surname, she double-barreled it. To my horror, the other day I actually looked him up on LinkedIn, and he's actually double-barreled his own surname with hers, a combo deal. This was the last vestige of whatever manhood he has left. So this is the level of destruction and imprisonment that can be inflicted on a guy. From my perspective, I've always had lofty dreams since I was a kid, and I'm constantly working hard towards achieving them and challenging myself. If something like that happened to me, it would kill my very spirit as a man and a human being. This is why an attitude of indifference towards relationships and dating is truly beneficial for some, but obviously not all men. By way of contrast, I have another friend that I met at university that I see once every few months. He also has 2 young children. However, he and his wife set out their stall at the beginning of their relationship. They would allow each other the time to socialise with their friends and get away from the family environment every so often, as we all need our time alone. He usually meets up with me and we get a beer and update each other on the past few months. Whilst his own situation is considerably milder than the first example, he has expressed aspirations to me of truly moving ahead with his career in his field. However, he can't quit his job to pursue the necessary qualifications he needs or wants. How can he? His income is needed along with that of his wife to pay the mortgage bills and look after his young family. So you can see from these examples that, good and bad, the situation is not really desirable. Also, it could be argued that spending the rest of your life with the same woman will get old eventually, as many of you would no doubt agree. Men aren't designed to be monogamous from an evolutionary, biological standpoint. One of my favourite analogies I used, even back at school as I recall, is that if you opened a bag of sweets, all of different flavours, shapes, varieties and colours, and took one off the top and ate it, a humbug for the sake of argument, why would you say, I'm only ever eating humbugs from now on? Or you buy your first car at 17 and never get another one for the rest of your life. Look, there are Bachelor channels out there that can relate these messages far better than me, so I'd strongly urge you to check them out. But I'm sure you see the point I'm getting at. It must be reinforced that by being a man going his own way, a lone wolf, it's about so much more than just opting out of relationships. It's taking on a life of its own. It's a philosophy now, a paradigm, a way of thinking. It's been around for 10 or 15 years and it's become more and more refined, and it's definitely growing. It's a means of self-actualization, of truly realizing your purpose, destiny and goals in the world. My own motivation to succeed is built around trying to fulfill any latent potential that I do have. And I truly believe we only get one shot in this world. If you were even partially aware of that and had ambition and drive and goals and all the rest, why would you consciously mess that up? Ever since leaving school, my life has been an endless process of grafting like hell, trying to get ahead. Be it academically, socially, and in leisure, and so on. Even though it's early days with this channel, I do work hard on putting the videos together, learning about different techniques, watching the work of others, scripting, planning some videos, trying to build something up from the ground up. I just simply don't have the time for a relationship, and a child would be out of the question. I hardly ever have a free hour, and this is exemplified in the scant time I play video games, for instance. Back when I had a stable job before university, in my process of self-improvement, I did a regular 9 to 5, and had a lot of free time to spare to play games. I would still class myself as a hardcore gamer, but I just can't find the time to switch it on. If this is the situation for me, goodness knows what it's like for someone in a live-in relationship, marriage and or children. Going your own way is beautiful in its flexibility and elegance. There is so much information out there now for anyone to educate themselves on the nature of the lifestyle and really get themselves up to speed. Be ready though to maintain your resolve in the face of shaming tactics and maybe even some ridicule. When I've been asked in the past about why I don't have a girlfriend and told that I'll be miserable for the rest of my life if I don't settle down, it implies that my very existence is defined by the person I'm with or the children I sire. I don't want to be trapped. I don't want that to be my sole legacy to this world, because I only have one shot in my mind. There's just one chance. Therefore, I would class myself as almost completely emotionally independent for the most part. I don't need self-actualization from a woman. I'm totally indifferent. I don't change any aspect of my personality, appearance or otherwise to try to impress women, and I live life truly for myself. You would be wrong, however, to point the finger and call me selfish. On the contrary, I regularly support family and friends, always have time for them, always call them on Zoom or by telephone just to stay in touch. Which brings me back to the original theme of time as the key resource. In the wild, lone wolves fend for themselves and go out on their own for very long periods of time, but they always remember the pack and their family, and it's not unusual for them to come back and spend time with them. This real-world analogy sums up my attitude on the topic. I'd love to hear your comments, thoughts and perspective down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel on your way out if you enjoyed the content. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.